o'clock and we're going to do our drama class. So if you're bored at home, you can join in. And I'm happy to see all of our theatre studio students doing it as well. So find a space, spread out, and get all your family involved. And we'll start with a warm-up. So stretch up to the sky, wiggle your fingers as high as you can go. And then we're going to relax the body by dropping the arms, the head, the shoulders. You're going to roll down to the floor, bending your knees and relax there. Make sure your neck's nice and relaxed. And then we're going to roll up. Tuck your bottom underneath, keep those knees nice and relaxed and bent. Curl up through the spine and bring your shoulders up. And then you should be in a nice working position. And then just roll over to the side and come up. And over to the other side and come up. And now we're going to get the faces to work. So we're going to squeeze the face up to make a really tiny little face. Like that. And then we're going to make a really big one. Stretch your face as big as it can go. And a really small. A really big. And a really small. And then really big. And then we're going to take an imaginary toffee, pop it in your mouth. Really good chew. Mine tastes of strawberry and I think there's a little bit of vanilla in there as well. Really, really big chew. Think about what your flavour of your toffee is. Lovely. And now get your tongue and get all the bits of the toffee that have got stuck around your teeth. Remember to brush your teeth well tonight. And go. Not hurt. Round the mouth. Very, very good. And we're going to kiss and smile now. And then put your hand on your cheek and push your tongue against your hand. And the other side. Just give your face a shake. And tap it all the way around. That's got it working. Now we're going to get the voices warmed up. So we're going to do a little bit of rolling our R's. If you find this difficult, try and tuck your tongue just behind your teeth and blow some air through your tongue and your teeth so you get let's go nice and high. And down we go. Very good. And now we're going to be horses maybe. Now this one, be a little bit careful if you are in close proximity to people because you might spittle a little bit and we don't want any of that, especially at this time we are. So we're going to go. Nice big deep breaths into the diaphragm. Great. So let's get our diaphragms working. For those of you that don't know, your diaphragm is just tucked under your ribs. And we're going to put our middle finger just either side of our belly buttons. And we just get our feet nice apart, hip width apart, relax the knees. And you're going to take a big deep breath in through the nose. And you're going to fill up that diaphragm. Don't lift your shoulders, no tension. We should still feel really nice and relaxed. So a nice deep breath into your diaphragm. And then just let it out. Get every little bit of air out. And another one. And out. Good. And one more for luck. And out. Great. Let's work on some voice things. And first of all, we're going to say the vowels. So A, E, I, O, U. And what I want you to do is, rather than just rambling away, I want you to really clearly use your mouth and your face and put lots of energy into saying those vowels. So you're going to go A, E, I, O, U. It might seem a bit over the top and crazy, but we've really got to get everything working. So let's try it one more time. A, E, I, O, U. And a little tip is when you say A, think of egg, and that will give you a lovely rounded sound to your letter. A, E, I, O, U. Good. Now we're going to try one of our favourite tongue twisters. This is Betty bought a bit of butter. I'm going to say a line and then you can repeat after me and then we'll put it all together if you're not familiar with this. So we'll start. Betty bought a bit of butter. The bit of butter Betty bought was bitter. So Betty bought a better bit of butter. to make the bit of butter better. Fantastic. Let's try it all together. Betty bought a bit of butter. The bit of butter Betty bought was bitter. So Betty bought a better bit of butter to make the bit of butter better. And I bet you can guess what letter we're really working on, which is the B's and the T's. Betty bought a bit of butter. Really get the T's. Let's try it one more time. Betty bought a bit of butter. The bit of butter Betty bought was bitter. So Betty bought a better bit of butter to make the bit of butter better. Now, we're going to add some actions into Betty bought a bit of butter just to get our brains really working. So when we say Betty, we're going to wave. So let's give it a go. Betty bought a bit of butter. The bit of butter Betty bought was bitter. So Betty bought a better bit of butter to make the bit of butter better. Now let's add an action into butter. So let's slide on some butter on some toast. So we're going to go. Betty bought a bit of butter. The bit of butter Betty bought was bitter. So Betty bought a better bit of butter to make the bit of butter better. Now we're going to really challenge ourselves. We're going to add in a bitter face when we say bitter. Are you ready? Betty bought a bit of butter. The bit of butter Betty bought was bitter. So Betty bought a better bit of butter to make the bit of butter better. And I forgot butter there. We're going to make it even harder. And now I want you to add in a thumbs up when we say better. So we've got waving for Betty. We've got smoothing on our butter for butter. We've got a bitter face when we say bitter. We're going to give a thumbs up when we say better. Are you ready? Here we go. Betty bought a bit of butter. The bit of butter Betty bought was bitter. So Betty bought a better bit of butter to make the bit of butter better. Did you do it? So, you should be pretty warmed up now and ready to sing a song, say a poem, read a story. So go and find your favourite poem or your favourite story or song lyrics, anything that you want to say out loud, and gather up your family and sit down and read to each other, speak nice and clearly, get all your T's in, and we'll see you next time.